Metalfab is proud to introduce this top mount pumper built for the Abercrombie, Nova Scotia Fire Department. It is built on a 2012 International 4400 series. It is powered by a Max Force 9 330 horsepower engine, has an Allison 3000 EVS transmission. There is seating for 5 firefighters, 4 of them being SCBA seats. There is a custom Metalfab console in between the driver and officer seat. This chassis has air conditioning, a locking rear differential. It has power door locks, power windows. In the front bumper, there's a 100-watt speaker mounted behind it. The lighting package is a Federal LED light package. The pump is a Hale 1250 imperial gallon per minute pump. The water capacity is 860 imperial gallons. On the top mount panel, there is controls for an electric master intake valve on each side. They each have a pre-primer. This unit has a engine cooler. There's a water level gauge, the pump intake, pump discharge gauges, controls for the pump house heater and the panel lights. On the right hand side of the truck, there is a class 1 total pressure governor, controls for the Foam Pro 2001 foam system, and again the controls for the right side manual intake valve. At the bottom portion, there are the controls and gauges that are color coded for each discharge and for the 2.5-inch intakes on each side of the pump panel. Behind the chassis cab, there are 2 110-volt FRC extender lights and 2 axes mounted. Underneath the walkway, there are 2 pre-connects that have end tarps at the end for protection. There is a compartment mounted at each end of the walkway. On the right side pump house panel, there is a 4-inch discharge, 2.5-inch discharge, a gated 6-inch inlet, a gated 2.5-inch inlet. There is a foam fill pump connection, a 110-volt outlet, and drains. The steps are non-slip to meet ULC. Underneath the pump house, there is a heat pan. There's a heater inside the pump house. There's a deck plate door in the middle portion, as well as a grip strut step to gain access to the open top storage where there is the plumbing for the monitor. On the right side fender top, there is a 6-inch suction mounted at the top, and there is a manual drop down ladder rack for a 24-foot 2-section and 14-foot roof ladder. The compartments ahead of the rear wheels is intermediate height. There's an adjustable shelf. It is covered by an AM door roll-up door and is lighted by LED compartment lights. Every compartment is vented. Over the rear wells, there is a drop down flush mount door. There are 2 SCBA bottle holders and 2 Federal LED flashers. The rear wheel well is covered with aluminum deck plate. In the rear compartment, there is a connection for a customer supply generator with 110-volt wiring and a pull-out tray. In the hose bed, there are 2 dividers. There is a rear view camera mounted underneath the hose bed. There's a traffic bar. In the rear compartment, there is a dump valve along with a 90-degree elbow and an extension that is slide on so you can dump to either side of the unit. There is a gated 4-inch direct tank fill. On the outer edges, there are 2 2.5-inch discharges, 2 tubes for 6-inch suction hoses, and at the outer edges, there's also FRC extender lights. There is a Wayland 64 LED light module at each lower corner. Underneath the right side fender top, there is storage for 2 pike poles and an attic ladder. And on the rear left side, there is a water level gauge. The left side of the body is identical to the right side, except the fender top has a 1,500-gallon porter tank manual drop-down rack that is covered with deck plate for protecting the porter tank.